So let's look at the benefits that a binary tree would give us in terms of search. Um, First, let's start with a linked list. So a linked list is really just one node after another, just like an array list is an element one after another. And in this case, let's say that we wanted to search for someone within this array list or linked list, and we didn't know at what position they were. They could be anywhere on the linked list. So if we searched Adam and our linked list had this sequence of elements, then Adam would be in the first spot and we would be able to find it really, really quickly. So if we got lucky and what we were searching was right at the front, then it wouldn't take very long. So our best case scenario is very quick. Now, what if it was our worst case scenario? What if we wanted to search for Adam and Adam happened to be at the end of the array list or linked list? We're going to have to go through element 1 and check if that's Adam, element 2 and check if that's Adam, check element 3 and check if that's Adam, element 4, and so on. And what our worst case would make us do is that we would have to look at all of the items, say with a for loop or with some other iterator, and we're going to end up having to have a search space of n. So we are going to have to look at every single element in the data structure in the worst case to find what we're looking for. So at most, our search page would be n and be the number of elements inside of the data structure. Now, let's see what benefits using a tree would give us in terms of search. We have the same elements, and we've created this tree structure with, say, the elements coming in a specific order, and we ended up with what you see on the screen. And we're still going to look for Adam. Now, Adam happens to be all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, but we're not going to have to search through every single one of these elements in a tree. First, we're going to compare Adam to the root. The root is not Adam, so then we're going to say, okay, so is Adam less than or greater than the root? And in this case, alphabetically, Adam would be less than. So the lower the letter in the alphabet, say A, B, C, would be less than X, Y, Z. So in this case, we would go to the left because we're using left than. And we would completely eliminate everything on the right side of the root, which would be about half of all of the elements that we had to look at. So now our search space has become quite a bit smaller. We know that we don't have to look at any of those elements. And we do that again. We look at Ethan L and we say, well, Adam is less than, in this case, the string Ethan L. So we are going to get rid of anything to the right of Ethan L. So we've halved our search space again. So we continue halving our search space until we finally get to what we want. Now, our final search space, even though we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 elements, we're only having to look in the worst case at 4 of those elements. So less than half of, of the total elements in the worst case. So compared to a linked list where we had to look at all 11 of them, now we only have to look at 4 of them in the worst case. So a binary tree lets us search much faster than a linked list or an array list would. Now, what happens if we don't have this perfectly balanced tree where there's on one side uh, the lowest level is the same as the right side. So in this case, the left side it goes down to level 4, and then the right side goes down to level 4. But what happens if we end up, unfortunately, with a tree that's completely unbalanced, where the left side is at a much lower level than the right side, and the right side, or at least the right side of the root, there is no really right side of the root. So we're going to have to end up looking for the left side and then go to the left side and then go to the left side. And what's going to happen? Well, our binary tree is really just going to decay into the same thing as a linked list or an array list. There's really not going to be a whole lot of benefit because we're going to have to look through every element anyways because we haven't created a balanced tree.